Well, friends, you've caught me on one of those rare occasions in my life where my house is quiet. I have a 2-year-old sleeping, I have a 13-year-old doing schoolwork, and I actually am caught up on all of my editing. I've got laundry in the washing machine and I've got a dishwasher full of dishes. So I'm gonna have some me time. I wanted to show you one of the things that I'm working on that is for my one-room challenge. This all started because years ago, when Owen was 4, I had someone make these digital paintings, essentially, of Owen and then our 2 dogs back then who are no longer with us, Drake and Lucy. And I loved them and I had them up in our house, and my plan was to eventually add Corey and I to the mix. And then we lost both of those dogs and we got 2 new dogs. So then we wanted to add Oscar and Mimi to the mix. And now we have Jack, so we need Jack in there. My original plan was to reach back out to this girl who did these for me and commission her to do the rest. Well, this year has not exactly been a stellar year for work for me. Not everybody is needing family portraits after COVID, or they're still recouping financially, and so pictures are one of the first things that, you know, the people are like, we'll do it next year when we have a little more money. So I don't have a lot of extra cash to just commission someone to do portraits. So I decided this year I'm gonna try it myself. So I have been working on some digital portraits and I'm gonna show you how I do it because it's really easy and it's really fun. So I am using my iPad Pro, and the app that I'm using is an app called Procreate. And what's really great about this app is it's very user-friendly. It was not very expensive. I think I paid $9.99 for this app, but it is an app where you can draw and paint digitally, which is really, really fun. And there's a lot of tutorials out there on how to use Procreate. It's been really nice because I've been able to make illustrations on here for my videos, and I've also been able to make illustrations, some animations for my Patreon page. Wanted to show you my stickers. So I designed some stickers, which you can see on my water bottle. I love cheese dip because I do. Anyway, they are just part of some of the stickers that I'm going to be making as a part of my Patreon gifts. And for those of you who are not familiar with Patreon, Patreon is a way of just viewers supporting my channel. It's a fabulous way to say, hey, we love your content, we'd love to support you, and it really helps for all the supplies that I purchase to make my videos. So I'm grateful for all the support that I can get. So I have some different tiers. I will link all of that in the description below, so if you are interested in learning more about my Patreon page or becoming a patron and supporting my page, be sure to check that out. And I also have some really cute cards that I designed. So when you get your little stickers from me, you'll see the good golly gal, and then it says, "You, my friend, are amazing. Your support means the world to me. Love, Molly." So that comes with all of my stickers to my people. So I'm going to be working on some more of those. I also have some other projects where I'm going to be doing some handmade magnets, and I'm going to be doing some tote bags and some mugs and all sorts of fun stuff for my patrons. And then another thing that my patrons are going to get is Then there's different tiers of, you know, you'll get different things at different tiers, but one of the things that I'm going to be doing for my patrons is putting out a bonus video every month that is just for you. You also will get to have some say in what I'm creating. So I will be reaching out to my patrons and saying, okay guys, what should I make? What do you want to learn? What do you want to see? And so I will be sharing that kind of stuff with you. So anyway, back to the design, which one of the reasons why I wanted to show you this sticker, because I actually used this sticker, I designed this sticker in my Procreate app, which is what I'm doing these portraits in. So I just wanted to show you the cool things that you can make. It's amazing, so definitely check it out. Again, I'll put a link to all of that stuff. If you like this, be sure, guys, show me some love, give me that thumbs up, that helps me out a lot. And you don't have to support my channel financially. A lot of people are like, I love your channel, love your content, but I just don't have the money right now to support you. That's fine. Subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, commenting on my videos, sharing my videos, all of those things are just as valuable, if not more, than the financial contribution. So I just appreciate all of your support and all of your help with all of this. Now, for those of you that are like, I love cheese dip sticker, but I'm not a patron, how do I get my hands on these? You can buy these. All you have to do is send me a message. The best way to do that is probably through direct message through Instagram. It's a great way to get in touch with me. Let me know that you want one of these stickers. They're $3 a piece, so just reach out and I can help you out with these stickers. I do have a few for purchase. The rest of them, though, I am holding on to for my patrons. So be sure to grab these before they're gone. So I just wanted to show you guys just some of the basics and some of what I'm working on. So I've actually already, so this is the gallery. When you open it up, it's going to take you to your gallery page, and this is everything that you've been working on. And if you're familiar with Photoshop, you're going to have up here across the top, you've got all these little tools. But up here, the right side is really important. So you've got your brushes first, and when you click on that, all your brush options show up. And within each category, there's a million brushes. There are so many brushes, and I will list for you guys some of my favorites. And these are just ones that I've used. And what's great is you can actually click on it, and it'll take you to a little page where you can draw and kind of see what you think. And then right here, this is the smudge tool. I've honestly never smudged anything, so you can play with it if you're a smudger. I'm not much of a smudger. Then you have erase. Now erase, when you click on erase, you're going to notice that it also has your brush library. The downside of the erase tool is that it doesn't always link up to the brush that you're using. So if you want to have the same look and the same textures, what you need to do is you need to take, so when you click out of here, let's say, actually let's go to a drawing that I have not done. We'll do the screen size just to practice. Okay, so let's go to my brush and let's use Spectra. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. These are my layers over here, and you just always want to click on a new layer whenever you're changing what you're drawing. So here's Spectra. So I'm drawing, and then let's say I'm like, oh wait, I didn't mean for that part right there. If I just click on erase and start erasing, it's not the same brush. So it has that harsh line, whereas the Spectra is very soft. What you can do though, when I'm on my brush, my Spectra brush, I can actually click onto my erase and hold it, and it's going to automatically put the Spectra brush as my erase brush, which is nice because, oh, that's huge, hold on. By the way, 2 fingers undoes, 3 fingers redoes. There you go. And you adjust the size of your brush over here and the opacity over here. So if I wanted to erase like right here, this is going to erase it in the same texture, so it still has these little texture lines that match. So that's just kind of a nice thing to know. And when you move over here, you can add a different layer. So when you add your layers, you know, I could change my colors. Go back to my brush. You always, always, always want to check to make sure that you're on the layer you want to be on. I can't tell you how many times I've started drawing only to realize that I've been drawing on the wrong layer, and that's really frustrating. So once you've got your layer, I just click back on my brush, make sure I have the brush I want, and then I can just start coloring in with that brush. And so what's so great about layers is like I can be really messy with this and go in with all these little squiggles, and I don't have to be careful because, let me fill this in. See how that looks kind of funky and weird? I'll fill this section in too. I can go up to my layers and I can click on this and hold it, and I can pull it down underneath so that this could be the color that's underneath what I'm drawing. So there are so many tutorials, and I'll probably do some more. I don't want to get too much into that right now because really the whole purpose of this video is for me to just show you what I am working on. So for my room, I have one wall that it just has nothing on it. And, well, actually I have quite a few walls, but one of the walls is a very large wall, and we're not gonna have a piece of furniture on it, and so I really wanted to have a nice collection of artwork. And so that is where I am going to do our Brady Bunch wall. So I'm gonna have Oscar on there, and Mimi on there. And then so far I've drawn Corey and myself, which we look really blown out in this video, but just trust me, we're not too blown out. And then the next one I'm working on is Baby Jack. So what I have done is in my gallery, here I'll start over so you can see. When you get to your gallery page, you have the select, so that you can select an object, and then you can either duplicate it or you can delete it, or you can share it. So I'm gonna delete that one that I just did as an example, clean that up. And then this one, actually I'll go ahead and delete this one too. I'll start over on that one. And then you just X out, and then it takes you back to the beginning. So here we have select, import, and photo. So, and then you've got this little plus sign. I'm gonna go to this plus, and I'm gonna click on the plus, and then it's gonna give me some options. Now, in these options, what you're going to see, so sorry, I had to make this really dark so you guys could see, but on this page, with this plus sign, when you click on this, you're gonna have some options that pop up. So you'll see it says new canvas, and then underneath it, it has screen size, which screen size is a low res file, so only do that if you're kind of doodling. It's not something that you're gonna want to print. But then it has some templates down here, so it's got square, 4K, A4, a 4x6 photo. You kind of go on through, and then you can actually create your own. So like I have one that's titled YouTube, and that is for my YouTube thumbnails. And then I have this one, which is my untitled canvas, and that, so I've been making these prints 11 by 14, but I want to show you how to make one. So I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna click on that little thing at the top, and you're gonna see dimensions, color profile. You have all this information up here. And so down here, what you do is you choose either pixels, inches, centimeters, millimeters. I'm gonna go with inches, and I'm gonna go with my width. So I'm making these 11 by 14. So these are gonna be 11 inches wide and 14 inches tall. And then the DPI, I'm gonna do 300 because I really want these to be a high resolution so that I can print them. And then you'll see underneath that a very important thing that says maximum layers. So the larger the files and the larger the images that you're making, the less layers you're going to be able to work with, and that becomes a problem when you need to add some extra layers. So sometimes you have to kind of group them, but 44 is plenty, so I'll be fine. But sometimes if you go real big, like if you're wanting to do a 40 by 40 canvas, well, they may give you 4 layers, and so you're very limited. So you almost have to work on a couple layers and then merge them, and then work on some layers and merge them. So it can be a bit much. But so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up here and click on the untitled canvas, and then I'm just gonna title this Brady Bunch Wall. Perfect. Create. All right. So now here is my image, and you can pinch in 2 fingers and pull in so you can see the full thing. I like to do that because that's the other nice thing is as you're working, I tend to turn my paper a lot when I work, but with this, all I have to do is squeeze it and then I can turn it any way that I want, any direction, which is really, really nice. So here is my canvas. This is what I'm starting with. And so what I'm gonna do is up here on the toolbar, I'm gonna go to the very first one that's actions, and I'm gonna click add. And if you click, you have options all along the top: canvas, share, video, preferences, help, all that. And I am going to go to insert photo, and then I'm gonna scroll through and grab Jack. So with this, he's way too tiny. So what I'm gonna do is, this is highlighted, so I'm going to zoom in and position him on the canvas where I want him to go. As soon as I figure out exactly where I want him to be, I'm gonna move him just a little bit over so his head's a little bit more towards the center. Okay. I'm gonna just click on this arrow right here, and that's gonna position him. So now he's attached to the background. So if I move this, see, he stays on it, which is really nice. Now, the next thing that you want to make sure you do is you never want to draw on this photograph, because eventually I want this photograph to go away. So I'm going to come up here to my layers, and I'm going to add a layer. Okay, and then I'm going to come up to my brushes. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to trace around Jack so that I can get an outline of my drawing. So I'm going to go up to my brushes. I'm going to go to painting, and I'm going to go to the round brush because it's the smoothest brush that I like to work with. It's just the one that I like to draw with. Sketching to me looks a little bit more like pencil, and I just don't want to deal with that. So, and then I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to go to a black. Click back on here, and we're good to go. Now, I am not going to be drawing anything on the background because I don't want any of that. And I have found it is a lot easier if I find a connecting spot where it's not in the middle. So like, see where his chin right here connects to his shoulder? It's easier for me to start here and draw down than it is for me to draw up. So I always draw down. And I hope you guys can see this okay. But I'm just gonna take this, and I wanna check over here to see the size. And I've been doing all of my outlines at 5%. And that's the size of mine so that there's some continuity there. And I'm just gonna start here. And I'm just gonna trace down his little shirt. Now at this point, you could do layers where you do one thing for one layer for his clothes, one layer for his face. You can kind of come up with your own look. The nice thing about kind of grouping it that way is that you can do some color dropping, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm gonna just outline this little jacket that he's wearing. And I'm only outlining, go across there. Any place that is that gray. And then I do want to get that little part right there. So now that I have drawn around and I have connected this, so now that I have this outline of his shirt drawn, what I can do is I can actually come over here to the color, click on this, and I can find a gray that I like. And then I go up to this color dot up here, I'm gonna grab it. Oops, hold on. Didn't grab it correctly. Okay. I can go up to this right here, and I can grab it and pull it, and then drop it into that section, and then see how it just filled in with the gray? And so that is a really nice feature because then it is done. Like there is no painting. Now if you're wanting to get more of a painterly feel, like some of the things that I've done, I've wanted it to feel like a painting, then obviously you're not gonna wanna do this. But let's say you wanted to go back in and add more details, like you thought, well, I don't want this to be so simple. Well, you can click on this and you'll see this N. This N stands for normal. When you click on that N, you're gonna get all these little options. And one of them is opacity. And I can actually adjust the opacity of this jacket so that I can see those lines underneath, so that I can draw more of those little line details if I want. I'm gonna add some more details. I'm gonna do his jacket under one layer, and then I'm going to add another layer. Normally I build up quite a few layers on each one, but I'm gonna just put everything under this one for now. The other nice thing is you've got this history right here, so you don't have to constantly try to figure out what color you used. You've got a history of the colors that you've been using, so that's really nice. Let's go back to that same black, go up to our brush, and now we're ready to do more. Now before you drop a color in, you always want to make sure that it's connected. Because if there is a break in the line, that color will bleed. It will go all over your entire drawing, which is really frustrating. So his jacket is finished. And everything for his jacket is in this layer. So now I'm gonna add another layer. And you can, if it's easier for you, you can rename these if you want. I can very clearly see that that's a jacket, but just for the sake of showing you how to do it. There it is. Oops, did not mean to do that. Done, jacket. All right, so now I'm gonna work on his shirt. And, oh, didn't mean to do that. Oh, and see, okay, here's a great example. So I accidentally added another layer even though I've already done one. So what I can do is I can grab this and hold it and I can pull, nope, I can slide to the left and then delete. So click on this, we'll name this one shirt. All right. So now we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're just gonna trace. Again, double checking, make sure I'm on shirt. I'm good to go. I'm actually gonna flip them this way, make it easier for me to draw. Before I drag and drop, I just wanna make sure that we have a section that's closed off, and we do. And look, oh, look what I found. I accidentally had a little boo-boo up there. I'm just gonna delete that. So here is the section that I've drawn, and we're gonna take this and we're gonna drop it in. And there's this shirt, and I hate that color. So we're gonna try, I mean, I don't hate that color, I hate that color for his shirt. There we go. I wanted a brighter yellow. All right. So I'm gonna go back up to my layers. This little box is just how you uncheck things. So when I do this, you can see what I've done. Oh, got another little boo-boo. All right. Ah, see how that deleted? 2 fingers, all done. Okay, so now his jacket and shirt is done. And I think I want to draw the little line for the collar, like the little stitching, because that's definitely missing on this. So what I'm gonna do so that this shows up a little bit better, I'm gonna go to the N on the shirt. I'm just gonna pull the opacity down because I can't see it when it is up. Go back to my color, black. Check my layer, make sure on, oh, see, look, it's already on jacket. It's supposed to be on shirt. Okay, so I moved it to shirt. Go to my brush. And then I just want to do that little stitch right there. So just that simple little line. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to increase that opacity so you can see it. See? Now that's his little shirt. Can you see that? So I'm going to add a layer. And I'm going to be gross and morbid, and I'm going to call this one Skin, even though that really grosses me out. Okay, so here is the skin layer. I'm going to come over here. Skin is a pain. It's such a pain. We've got some peaches over here. He's not that pale. I'm gonna make a starting point though. So sometimes it's just good to get to a starting point and just try it. Like, you don't really understand how the colors, hold on. You don't really get how the colors are gonna look until you put them on their face. Like, that's very yellow. So then I can come over here and I can actually, when I've clicked one of these that's in the little palettes, if I want to adjust that color, so that's a good starting point, but I know it's too yellow, I can come down here to disc, and then you'll be able to see you can actually move it, and it changes it. And then click here, and that's now a new color. A little better. Go back. Let's go this way a little bit. Get a little more peachy reddy color in there. Let's try that one. We're getting there. That one's actually pretty good. Yep, I like that one. Okay, so downside of that one is I feel like it was a little dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, or a little light, so I'm just going to move it in, give him a little bit of a tan. Alright, so here is the color that we're going to use for his skin. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to show you another way that you can drop color in without having to draw with marker or ink, okay? So one thing you can do is, and I didn't show you guys all of these. So there's actions, adjustments. This one, I don't even know what this one's called. I think it's kind of the mask one. I don't know. It's like a little squiggle line. This is the one that will allow you to select sections. And one of the nice things about this is that you can also, it allows you to, this is where you'll go if you want to flip items, or if you want to rotate them, or if you want to warp them or distort them or whatever, that's when you'll use this. And all you do is you click it to highlight it, click it to undo it. But this is what we're going to be using, is the little squiggle. And I don't even know what it's called. But what I'm going to do is I've got it clicked on, don't know if you can see this, but this says freehand, and then there's this color fill bucket. So I'm going to click on the color fill, And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace whatever I want to fill with the color. So I'll start with his hands because it's kind of small. But all I'm gonna do is you'll see as you go, there's just this little dotted line. Now the other nice thing about doing a layer out of this is it doesn't have to be perfect. You can always go back and erase things later, or you can put a layer on top of it and so it doesn't matter. So what I do with this color fill now is I take my color and I drop it in. So his hands drive me crazy. I'm not doing his hands. They're making me mad, and this is supposed to be relaxing because everyone's quiet and I need this to be my happy time. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the picture so that his hands are cut off and then I don't have to draw them. It's a perfect solution. So once this layer is highlighted, if I want to highlight another layer, what I do is I just pull it to the right, and you see how they turn blue? And that means it's all connected. So these I'm done with. Like, I'm deleting them. I hate their guts. They're going away. So now all of this is connected. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on this, and this is going to allow me to make this bigger. Okay? So this is enlarged. Oh my gosh, I feel so much better now. I don't know why those hands are driving me crazy. No, don't do that. Undo. No. Hold on. For some reason, no. Oh, it undid everything. Okay. Come on now. So my downside is sometimes when you pinch, it counts as 2 fingers, and so it freaks out on you. Okay. So I'm going to increase this right here with this adorable little face, little nugget. Okay. And now I'm going to move this down. And look, I don't have to worry about his hands. Perfect. I'm going to go up here to layers, and I'm going to click on these. So once you click on one, that option, and I'll show you what I mean. So when you're on here, it's going to give you the option to delete or group. Well, if you get stuck and you're wondering, wait, how do I get back to the point where I can add a layer? All you do is just click on one and it's going to come back. And so I'm going to add a layer. And this is going to be for his sweet little angelic face. And so I'm going to go over here, click off of, actually let's go back to our regular skin tone. And I'm going to go back and we're going to do that color fill for his face. For my sweet little angel nugget. There's this one little spot and I'm just going to fill it in with the brush. And then you're good to go. And actually, I can kind of come all the way up here and go around and be messy with it, because I can use this layer well, actually this side I can't. Down here I could. The rest of these I'm gonna have to clean up, but that's okay because I'll just clean it up with the erase tool. I have his face, if you see on the layers, if I actually increase the opacity, it's just like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lower the opacity quite a bit actually. And then I'm going to add another layer, and this layer is going to be my face outline. All right. And so on this one, what I'm going to do is go back to that black. Oh, don't want it on syrup. I want to go on painting with my round brush. Okay. Check to make sure that I am at 5%. Okay. And now I'm just going to trace his face like I did before. This time I'm going to just be very aware of, I'll probably do his hair first and then kind of go from there. once we've pulled this up, we'll be able to see where some of the skin color is kind of showing through. You can really see it if you come in here and you make this, the background, invisible, and you'll see those little spots. So what you do is just take your eraser and then just get rid of it. And sometimes you do have to kind of get close, because like that one I would have totally missed, and then it would have driven me crazy later. So you really want to zoom in. Make sure that you've gotten everything, even that little tiny little nugget. Yes. He is up early from his nap, and I'm not okay with that. I'm telling you, he has not, it's like, I think he's starting to get rid of his naps, and I'm just not ready. Not ready at all. I love his long naps. They make me happy. Okay, so here this little part kind of bugs me, so I can go to the face outline, and that's where I can fix that one. So I can come in. Now the downside here, I can't fix it with an eraser, but I can fix it with the brush. So I can kind of come in. There we go. And it's not nearly as noticeable. There we go. Now let's go back to our face layer and finish cleaning this up. Alright, now let's lower that opacity. There we go. Which I actually kind of like. Hold on. Let's go back to that. I think I like it like this. That color's better. Okay. But here's where the problem would be. If I change this background color, look, he becomes green. He looks like a monster. So that doesn't work. You really have to keep that opacity up. Like that. Oh. That green is shown me a place it didn't fill in all the way. That's why it helps to do your background color, just to check to see spots, because like you don't notice things until that background layer starts to show through things. This really is a meticulous little process. It's very relaxing. Alright, so here's my sweet boy right now. And then I need to add his little eyes and his adorable little face. And I need to do the outline of his face, and that's where his little features are going to start to really show through. Alright, so I'm clicked on this. I click on my brush. So now I am ready to outline. But before I can do that, I have to lower this opacity. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to see where everything is. So instead of lowering the opacity, I'm just going to get rid of it altogether so that I can really see his face. His sweet little nugget face. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I've got all my little details in And now what I need to do is I need to add some color to his eyes and add just a few more little details like his lips and all that. So let's go ahead. We're going to add a new layer. And for this one, we'll go ahead and do the white. We'll do the whites of his eyes. I'm going to adjust his hair because I am not digging the hair. So let's go here. Okay, so now I realized that I was still in my hair outline when I tried to put color into my eyebrows, so that did not work. So I've got to come in here, and this is where naming it is very helpful, although I didn't name my eyebrows, but I could find them pretty easily. So I need to go a little bit darker with those. There we go. Whoop. Perfect. Okay. So here's Jack. Now here is the part that I wanted to show you. So if you go up to this little tool and you see actions, at this point, this is where you would save it. Okay, so you're going to go to share, and you're going to share it. I'm going to share it as a JPEG, and then I can either airdrop it to my Mac, or I can just save the image. So I'm just going to save the image on here, and then I'll export it later. But this is the one I was talking about. So the time-lapse replay, I'm going to export the time-lapse. There we go. Let's save the video to my file. But I want to show you what it looks like. Okay. I'll show you the other ones that I did for my dogs. I'll show you those time lapses so you can kind of get an idea of how I did those as well. Thank you guys again for all of your support, for always watching. You're awesome. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you next time.